So, what I learned from all the fundraising is that just that I think the same goes for business too. So when you're out of college, then it's just a good thing to keep in mind that it takes a long time to get your name out there and for people to understand what you're doing. But once everybody knows, then things just have a way of coming together. So, like in our third year of fundraising, then I didn't ask corporations if they could match our donations and so on. It's not even something I thought about, honestly. And it wasn't my idea when it happened either. Somebody came to me and said, my company can do this for you, and if you're interested. And then I said, yeah, that's great. Obviously, if we can get 10,000 matched, then that's 20,000 right there. But how are we even going to get 10? And then Jane had gotten in touch with me way after the fact that I had already dropped out of team in training, and she came and helped us fundraise just out of the blue. Again, I didn't ask her for help, but she felt passionate about it. She knew what I was doing, and she wanted to be a part of it. And so, just the moral of that whole story is that when you keep trying, then good things happen, even if you never see them coming.
So who, like when you're talking about in the beginning when you did, when you like started fundraising for the LLS, like you were saying that, you know, Andrew helped you, like influenced you to start the team. Like who is he in your life? Like how did you guys meet?
Well, I met his brother, your brother, Steve, in kindergarten, and we had been just best friends since then. Me and Andrew actually weren't as close. I don't know how close we were up until middle school, but I don't think it was nearly as close as me and Steve. Me and Andrew got a lot closer when we started playing tennis together and playing on the tennis team together. So that was probably all around 7th, 8th grade. And, you know, since then, I see him practically every day. We're like brothers, basically.
So what, like, role do you say he plays in your life right now?
What role?
Yeah.
I mean, by far my best friend. If I ever need something, then I know that I'll go to him first, and he'll come through. I don't question that at all. It's just the way it is. So, you know, it's one of those things where I don't think that you could trust someone more than that, or have as much faith in someone.
Yeah.
Also, just talking about friends though, and how it's, we had talked about how it's like really hard to talk about these things sometimes, like the whole cancer thing and all the emotions around that. But what really surprised me actually when I was diagnosed, that caught me completely off guard, just like how I didn't expect to get teary-eyed here because I thought I was past that point. But, you know, when it comes to my dad, I guess I'm still not. So that caught me off guard. But something else that really caught me off guard was when I was first diagnosed. Then I got the call from the doctor, and at that point I had already determined in my own head that I had the same thing that my dad had. So the doctor called, and then the conversation was literally something like, "Hi, is this James DeMassey?" "Yes, it is." Well, you know, we really regret to inform you that you have non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Sorry, lymphoma. And then I was just like, yeah, okay, here, talk to my mom. That's what it was like, because I already knew, you know, this wasn't news to me. So at that point, though, I felt like I better get on the phone and let people know. I think that the first person I had called was another good friend of mine, someone I grew up with, Mike Doherty. And just having to say I have cancer, it was so much harder than I had imagined it would be. And again, I just like burst into tears on the phone when I said it. And it wasn't because I felt bad for myself. What was really strange about it was that, and I don't know, I'm sure other people that have been through it can relate, that I felt bad for what I was doing to him and to my friends. Because I knew that you would all be upset when I tell you. And it's like, I don't want to hurt you guys. And since this was something happening to me, then I felt like ashamed in a way. And it was just the weirdest emotion. And I guess I'm still like a little bit emotional talking about it now, but it was just so strange. Like, why would you be ashamed of something like that? But it's just because, I don't know. I guess it's a lot like crying in front of somebody where you just like kind of feel naked in that moment. It's the same thing.
Yeah. So how long are you technically still in remission, or are you done?
I think that the doctors consider me cured. It used to be 5 years without cancer and you're considered cured. Now they give it a little leeway. They say maybe it's more like 3. For me, it's been, I guess, mid-2009, so that would put me at, what, almost 4 years now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what road your life been taking since then? I mean, after the LOS and everything.
Well, I guess what I was trying to say before was that again, I don't expect like anybody in here to understand or anybody watching this, but I know that other cancer patients can relate to this as well. But I really feel like it was a gift being diagnosed, especially at such a young age, because you really learn how to prioritize the things in your life. Like my dad, he accomplished so much in his life that I always felt like it was just too much to live up to. But when he died, up until that day, he said that he would tell you that he didn't accomplish a thing in his life, which is just completely absurd. And it's just because he was like so into his work and just being successful. I think it almost has something to do with his relationship with his dad, that maybe he felt like he could never live up to his expectations, and so he could never live up to his own as well. But it's just a shame though, because he had worked so hard and done so much, and he never really had a moment to just sit back and enjoy his life. And when I was in the hospital though, then like work, money, these things really didn't matter to me at all. The only thing I thought about while I was in there was that I wanted to travel more and I wanted to spend more time with my friends and family, and that's about it. Like if I got out of there, then that's all I wanted to do. And the work and everything else, that's just an afterthought. Obviously it's something you need to do, but it'll get done. It's not important. And that's kind of like how I live my life now. You just have to go for it, you're not gonna get another chance at this. So I started my own company, which is something that I've always wanted to do and just never really pursued it up before all this happened. And I named it after my dad. The name of it is Seraphin Group. Seraphin was his middle name. And what I do is I manage people's investments for them and help them plan their future and so on and so forth. Because I've worked in this industry for all my life. You know, this is what I studied all my life. Since 8th grade I started trading stocks, which is pretty crazy.